For a very quiet day in the Mets clubhouse, as you can imagine, as his teammates are really just ruminating and processing Diaz's diagnosis. But a lot of players told us they're going to take today to think about Edwin and not think too much into the future. But Harp, we talked about the bullpen yesterday and what it looks like. But what does it look like now after receiving this news?
Well, there's a huge hole out there, as we know, Michelle, and that's priority number one, is to be able to find somebody that can close games now. And David Robertson's an obvious candidate. Brandon Nimmo was talking about how nasty his stuff is. He's faced him, and he's been a guy who's closed. He's a guy, I remember, Mets wanted last year at the deadline, couldn't get him. So he's a guy, and, Brooks Raley, the lefty, might have to close sometimes depending upon matchups. And then you want to see maybe a guy like Drew Smith take another step forward. He's gotten better the last couple of years. And then there's Ottavino, too. I don't know if he's ideal as a closer, but he might be more of anything. But those are your core guys. Now you're going to need some help from guys like maybe Tommy Hunter, Steven Nagosic. We talked about John Curtis. Some of these guys that Billy Epler's taking chances on, that kind of high ceiling, high injury risk guys. But it's going to have to be more of a group effort for sure without Diaz there.
A lot of people are calling this a World Series or bust time for the Mets. So not just the bullpen, but what is your outlook on the team overall after this news?
Well, this is a big hit because, as we know, we've seen teams, the Mets history, they have teams that have been ruined by closers down the stretch. So you got to have somebody you can count on. Those late inning losses can really destroy a team in a pennant race, but there's still a ton of talent here. Verlander yesterday was really impressive, even though he didn't necessarily think so. And Scherzer, you expect that from him. Going to see Senga as well, and so we'll see. I think that offense is there to put up. They put up numbers last year. They just didn't get it done at the very end. I think we've seen a lot of Beatty this year. He's going to have an impact at some point, and probably Alvarez as well. So I think the young guys are going to have to make a difference at some point for this team to add a little extra power. But they're still one of the best teams in the National League.
Yeah, obviously a huge blow for the Mets, but the team and Edwin Diaz seem to be optimistic and in good spirits, but unfortunately there will be a little bit of time where we're not going to be hearing trumpets at Citi Field.